Hi everyone, and welcome to Bloom and Beyond. I want to apologize for the delay in getting an episode published. Most of you are familiar with or have seen my dog Jaeger. He's been in my videos or you've heard him on the audio. For the last few weeks, Jaeger has been battling some very serious health issues. We're working with his vet to make sure that he gets the best care possible, but we're unsure about what's happening with him right now. So the last few weeks, I've been pretty focused on Jaeger and his care. Today's a better day for him, so I'm getting back on track with my podcast and my messaging so that I can continue helping others, which truly brings me great joy. So today we're talking about something that hits close to home for me. We're talking about hair loss. Not just the kind that happens a little here and there, but the kind that makes you stare at your hairbrush in disbelief. The kind that makes you avoid the mirror and makes you not want to wash your hair or even brush it for fear of seeing a drain or a brush full of hair. The kind that makes you feel like you're slowly losing a part of yourself, your identity, your confidence, and your youth. I know that might sound dramatic if you've never experienced it, but if you have, you know exactly what I mean. So let me start with my story. My hair had already started to change in perimenopause. It wasn't as thick, the texture was different. I used to be able to throw it up in a messy bun and I felt pretty confident about how I looked. But as I got deeper into perimenopause, it just didn't feel like me anymore. It was thinner and it was flatter. Then I broke my femur about 8 months ago. And that injury was traumatic in every way, physically, mentally, emotionally. I didn't handle the anesthesia from the surgery very well, and the narcotics that they gave me for pain made me really sick. It was an all-around traumatic experience. Then, about 4 months after the surgery and break, my hair just started falling out at an extremely alarming rate. It turns out I had telogen effluvium, which is a temporary hair loss that happens after a physical or emotional shock. And it was awful. It was coming out in the shower. Every time I brushed my hair, my brush was full. Absolutely nothing or no one prepares you for how helpless that makes you feel. I started to wonder if I was going to be bald. It was that bad. My ponytail was half the size that it was before the injury, and my hair was already thinner anyway due to menopause. If I continued to lose hair at that rate, I knew that I was going to have very little hair in the next few months. So thankfully, about 6 weeks after it started, the hair loss slowed. And now, slowly, very slowly, it's starting to grow back. But it's a process, and it's one that I know will take months to make a difference. Now let's talk about hair and identity. Hair is more than hair. It's tied to our femininity, our identity, and our confidence. We experiment with it. We change it when we change our lives. And then suddenly it starts to change without our permission. I know women with very thin hair and some who have actually gone ahead and completely shaved their heads due to that loss that has happened naturally or through medical procedures. I think they look amazing, and I myself started thinking about embracing that look if I kept losing my hair at the rate that it was going. But I wanted that to be a choice and a change that I wanted and not one that was done out of necessity. For midlife women, these changes can feel especially unfair. We're already adjusting to so much. Body changes, hormone shifts, hot flashes, mood swings, and now hair loss. It just feels like one more thing being taken. So if you're feeling frustrated, discouraged, or even ashamed, you're not alone. What causes hair loss in midlife women? Let's talk about the why because it helps to know what's happening beneath the surface. There are a few big culprits. First, hormonal changes. Declining estrogen and progesterone levels can lead to thinning, dryness, and slowed hair growth. We have increased androgens, which are the male hormones. And some women experience more of these during menopause, which can shrink hair follicles and cause hair to thin or fall out. Then there's stress or trauma. Like I experienced, a major injury or an emotional shock can send hair into a shedding phase. And nutritional deficiencies play a part. Not getting enough protein, iron, or certain vitamins can affect hair growth. Thyroid issues, autoimmune diseases, and genetics also play a role. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and most of it is out of your control. Now, what does help? And this is the part that really matters. What can you actually do? I want to be real with you because I asked my dermatologist and he was brutally honest. There is no miracle supplement. He said that if it were as easy as taking a supplement, then you wouldn't see all these wealthy older men walking around with comb-overs and bald spots. Good point. He said if you want real hair regrowth, you need implants or medicated treatments. But that wasn't for me, and maybe it's not for you either. So here's what I found helpful in a realistic, holistic, hormone-friendly way. First, patience and perspective. Yes, this is first because hair takes months to show improvement. It doesn't follow a quick fix timeline. Your emotional well-being matters as much as your scalp routine. So I'm noticing these little baby hairs around my hairline, so I know I'm having some improvement. Second, maybe supplements are for you. I take Nourish Vita, and while the science is limited, it gives me peace of mind that I'm supporting my body. If you're interested, look for supplements with biotin, collagen, zinc, iron if you're low, and B vitamins. Again, no guarantees, but they may help support regrowth. The Nourish Vita has actually helped my nails become thicker and stronger, so that's good. Make sure that you speak with your doctor before you start anything though. Third is nutrition. Eat to support your body. So focus on protein. Hair is made of keratin, which is a protein. Consume healthy fats. Omega-3s help nourish the scalp. Iron-rich foods may be helpful. Spinach, legumes, red meat if you eat it. And hydration. Your hair needs moisture from the inside out. And the fourth thing is scalp care. Gentle massages will stimulate blood flow in your scalp. Avoid those tight hairstyles and use clean, sulfate-free shampoo and be gentle while you're brushing. Next is stress management. Hard, I know, but chronic stress messes with your hormones. Stress is hard on every part of your body. Practice breath work, journaling, gentle movement, walks, or meditation, whatever brings you back to yourself. And then accept the season. This might be the hardest part, learning to accept your hair, your body, your age, even when it's not cooperating. But I promise you, you are still beautiful. You are still you. Hair, less hair, or no hair. We are all different as we age. So some final thoughts. Hair loss can feel like a betrayal, I know. But your body isn't betraying you. It's asking for support, rest, and compassion. You're going through real changes, and you don't have to pretend that it's easy. If your hair is thinning, falling out, or just not what it used to be, I see you, and I'm right there with you. Let's stop hiding this, and let's talk about it. Let's normalize the very real, very emotional reality of hair loss in midlife, and let's support each other through it. Until next time, I'm reminding you to bloom through the hard things because that's where the beauty is.